Hi, this is Mike, and today I'm going to continue my work on setting BigTreeTech SKR 3 Ender 5 Plus. In a previous video, I went ahead and wired up the board and got everything working. And today I'm going to concentrate on setting up the firmware. So the first thing I want to do, open up my various references. First reference I'm going to use is BigTreeTech's website. So I'm on their SKR3 repo, GitHub, and I'm going to go to firmware. I have examples for Clipper, Marlin, that's riprap. I'm interested, eventually, maybe I'll try Clipper, but right now I really know Marlin, and this is an old version of Marlin bug fix. I'm going to go ahead and update this to current, but I'm going to start these folders. And the first thing I want to do is, again, I'll just leave this open, and I'm going to switch back and prepare GitHub. Okay, so I've gone ahead and open up GitHub Desktop. I have that open. Go to bug fix 2.1x, and I'm going to go ahead and hit fetch upstream because I want to make sure that I have current data. And then here at the top, I'm going to branch and new branch. I type in -SKR3. That way, I know which board I'm on. I know which printer and board this is. I'll just hit create branch. So that's just created a branch off of bug fix. And then I'm just going to go ahead and publish that to my repository. Yeah. And now I'm just going to switch over to VS Code. So this is all set up, and a second we'll get it in VS Code. I've gone ahead and opened up VS Code, which on my screen's on the left, and on the right is my reference site. That's GitHub, BigTreeTech's GitHub page. First change I'm going to make, and you'll notice in VS Code, I have 3 tabs open: PlatformIO, Configuration.h, and Configuration_advanced.h. Those are the 3 files I'm predominantly. I'm going to start off though here in PlatformIO on BigTreeTech site, and I just want to make sure I got the right board. Copy board here, and then paste that in over here in the PlatformIO in my code. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and I'm done with the PlatformIO file. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And let me scroll up here to the top. I'll start at the top of Configuration.h. Start up there, and I'm going to work my way down page BigTreeTech's GitHub. Let me go back over here. I'll get to the, and I'm just going to go one-to-one. Configuration.h. I'm just going to start scrolling down. And let me go ahead and change this. I'm going to put I'm going to go ahead and put Ender E5P -SKR 3. Go ahead and put a version number on that, and I'm going to put this is 2.1.1. That's my nomenclature. Keep going down here. The next thing I need to do, change the board here. Copy the board from BigTreeTech and paste that. Okay. Again, I'm just making my way down. Serial port needs to be 1. And according to BigTreeTech, they have the baud rate set to 115200. Hit that. They have serial port 2 uncommented. Go ahead and uncomment that. Leave that at -1. They have serial port 3 uncommented, and they have that defined as 3. And they are doing custom machine name. Go ahead. Let me go ahead and copy board number down there again, so that way I can see that because that'll show up on the screen. Go. Now, this your board is using the old nomenclature, so all the way down, find the TMC. Just need TMC 2209. Oh, come on. There it is. Just need to copy that, paste that here. For right now, I'm just doing this as I'm not doing independent Z's. I have 2 Z's run off one stepper. I just don't want to go ahead and mess with that right now. There'll be some additional configuration that I'd rather just get it running like this. Now, I'm just going to leave it at 1 extruder, and I just keep scrolling down through the code, keep going down. Interesting, they have the power supply defined. I'm going to go ahead and have this set to high. I think all I need to do is leave the heat sensor at 1. One I need to change it. Needs to be changed to 1. Just going to keep scrolling down. So just making sure everything's set up correctly here. So I turn on head, on. Not using heated chamber, so I can skip this section. Prevent cold extrusion. Looks all right. Thermal protections are all enabled. It's good. Pause 1 second. It's X pin. Pull up another. I'm looking at a little bit different code on the right. This is how I have the end stop set up for the SKR 2. So I'm just going to copy this and paste this over into SKR 3. That way I find, and I'm just going to continue to scroll down here. False. And the end stop noise threshold for certain what I have on the SKR2, and I'm going to copy my alt X steps per last one. The E is extremely high based on the extruder I'm using. I'm just updating all these values, updating the accelerations, 500, 500, 1000, 5000. I'm going to update alt acceleration to 500, 500, 1000 for alt retract, 500 for the alt travel acceleration. I'm going to go ahead and enable classic jerk. I'll make a couple updates. I'm going to change alt X jerk to 8, Y jerk to 8, and jerk to 0.4. I'm going to keep traveling, keep scrolling down. Now, since I enable classic jerk, I'm not using junction deviation. Now, I'm going to go ahead and enable S-curve acceleration. I'll have to make a change over in configuration_advanced. Now I'm going to keep scrolling down, find BL touch and that down. I'm going to keep going. Now I need offsets. And I'm just going to copy and paste my values. Their values will be, again, dependent on what mount you touch. Probing margin, I'm going to set 5 plus to 50. I'm going to change this feed rate as 150 times 60. And I'm going to do multiple probing to values as is. Going to turn on define dmin probe repeatability test. And I'm going to probing fans. Those are all going to stay the same. Since I only set up one extruder, I'm going to go ahead, comment this line out. Now I need invert X direction is true. Invert Z direction is true. Invert E0 direction, true. Again, these are specific to my Ender 5 Plus using EQ H2 extruder. Change the bed size to 360. I'm fingering this. And the Z max is going to be 410. I'm going to leave all the as is. I'm going to uncomment this line. I think I need to. Comment. filament runout sensor. Let me make sure all the same. Yes. Again, keep going down through. Turn on auto level, auto bed leveling by linear. I think I'm going to make a change here. Okay, I just want to check my settings here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead with this here. Find enable leveling that. And I want to continue scrolling down here. A lot of things. Sure, okay, I want to go ahead. Alt leveling fade height, leave that 10. Leveled segment 5, that's correct. I'm going to go ahead and define G26 method validation. I'm going to change this to all temp. I use 205. Hotend at 65 for the bed. That's correct. I want to go ahead and do 5 points. The large bed for the 5 plus. Extrapolate beyond red. Keep scrolling down here. I want to enable LCD bed leveling. That I'm going to enable mesh edit. Go down to safe homing. All that. Check all these numbers here. Validate homing and stops correct. Enable EEPROM settings. Should check boot silent. Correct. Go down here. Change these. ELA I205 65. Go put 0 because I have no chamber. Higher than ABS, I do more patchy, so all stuff for that. 40. 0 chamber. Enable arc nozzle. Keep down. UD language. English. I'm going to change this to Western. And I'm using the BigTreeTech EFT 3.5. Didn't want to say that. I believe I have all this code is already not optimized for that. So I want to enable the SD support. The check try. I'm going to go ahead and enable define individual access. Anyway, now me search for. I want rep wrap discount, bulk graphics, smart controller. Find that. Okay, there it is. I'll enable that. Go down to that features here. That section. Extra features we need to find and soft power be enabled. Fans work appropriately. And that should be everything. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now let me switch over to configuration for advanced.h. Reference files over here open. Just to make sure I have everything. I want to make sure again, everything correct here. And I'm basically just going to base this off of the SKR 2. I don't have anything to do in this first section. Chamber and laser stuff. Thermal protection all set up. Now, I have this changed over here. Change a watch temp period. I'll keep scrolling. I'm just again slowly but surely scrolling down through all my values, just making sure everything's okay. Now I'm going to try this. I'm going to leave these as defaults. I might have to change this because I might have to change which band, so I might have to mess with these pins. My reference file, I did use this. That's on the SKR 2. So I'm just going to leave that as is, -1, and that way I can check and see if the fan's on or not. All my other values the same. I'm going to enable quick home here. Shouldn't have to enable anything in there. I'm just going to leave. Not going to mess with. If I had mother C, I was using that, but I'm not able. Adaptive step smoothing. Not need that, but I can do it. Need to here. Need to define LCD menu. That's enabled. Status message scrolling. Enabled. Set LCD. Sorry, LCD set progress manually. Down here we need to find remaining time. Find show remaining time needs to enable 2773 remaining time. SD sort alpha. Double change. SD card. SD sort underscore G code as true. SD sort uses RAM. True. Want cache names as true. SD sort dynamic RAM as true. Long file name host support enabled. Scroll long file name. On auto report SD status enabled. SD connection be on board. We need to enable that, and then we need to change from LCD on. Use watchdogs, so that's correct. Enable baby stepping. Baby stepping always available. Double click C. Double click for Z baby stepping. R1 move. Baby step. Set. Now we want to enable linear advance. I want to go ahead, find the bug. We want experimental curve. Wow. No. Jerk. Keep scrolling down now. Works. exports enabled. I call my value and buffers. I change all these to 64. These 3, 4. Buff size needs to go to 32. I'm optimizing this. October. The X buffer size needs to be 32. I'm going to go ahead and enable our X buffer size. Change that to 2048. Enable parser. Okay. To go ahead, serial float precision. I want that enabled. Advanced pause feature. Change. Pause feature. I'm going down here. Enable define park. Head on pause. And home before filament change. Find filament load. Now I'm going to scroll down to the EMC drivers. That's 26. I want to change X to 750. Leave Y at 800. Do Z at 750. As well. Scroll down. Scooter. E0. Keep scrolling down to Stealth Chop. Now, I had an error on this one before. Recommended to turn off Stealth Chop on Extruder. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I want chopper timing set to 24, not 12. So I'm changing 12 volt to 4. I'm going to go ahead and define, turn on, enable driver status. Go ahead and enable square wave stepping. I'm going to define, enable TMC debug. There we are. Need to enable, disable driver safety power protection. And before I can see, search for that. See if that's actually BigTree. That's that. No, they don't have that. They don't have it. So I'm going to now recording section, auto record temperatures, auto record position needs to be enabled. To enable M1 changing enabled. To enable 14 detail. Enable 14. I'm going to go ahead and back for 1 and 2. I want it to be enabled G-code insensitive. I'm going to enable host action commands. Enable host prompt support. Enable host start menu item. Enable objects. I'm going to scroll through this really quickly. see here I have anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Yeah. Then since I have this built, I'm going to build Marlin, open up my ABM panel, my boards. So go over here, check what I have. Okay, when I open up auto build Marlin, it's up in VS Code, saying the motherboard's not found. That's what my error is. BigTreeTech's code isn't exactly right. If I go over here, here's the correct board name. So it's board underscore BTP underscore SKR underscore. Go ahead and save that. Refresh. That looks correct. Let's go ahead and hit build, and I'll pause and come back. I've had another error mistake here, so I need X. Home direction should be 1 instead of negative. Y should be that. Clean. I'm going to build. I'll pause it back. You can see the firmware successfully compiled. So now try copying this key card and to the printer. Okay, so now I'm going to plug place the SD card slot up here. I've gone ahead and moved my SD card printer. It's in. Go ahead and turn the machine on. If it flashed successfully. There we go. Line there. Successfully flashed my firmware. Now let's run a couple tests and make sure everything looks good. So I'm going to run a couple quick tests here. I'm going to try run the home, and maybe I'll run a touch test. Like I said, I still have a lot of work to do with wiring. So I'm having some type of error with the touch. Let's go ahead, turn this off, turn it on. I'll have to check the BL touch and see if I can. Problem is, the Z is not moving. So I'll have to fix the problem here. The BL touch isn't working correctly. It isn't stopping the bed. So I want to real quickly go through my settings again and make sure I have everything correct. I have a couple settings I need to change for the BL touch. So let's just go through. Shouldn't have to change any wiring. It's simply a issue where I turned on. I shouldn't have. Apologize. I should right to it. Okay. We need to make sure define CMin Pro is disabled, and you need to enable use Pro for Z Home. Change to me. Auto bed leveling, and you need to make sure this first one, restore leveling if disabled. You need to enable leveling. And then we need to save those changes. Then also remember to change over here. I want to make advanced. So I want to search for wizard. And to turn on the probe offset wizard. That way that's available in Marlin. Go ahead and save that. Go over to Auto Build Marlin, run a clean. And then run a build. So Just go over here to my configuration and small change. Just want to update the version number. Get the tent. Always do this again so we can make sure I've actually upgraded. So I'm going to hit build, and then I'll pause. Okay, so I've updated the firmware. Go ahead and try run the home work. Like I said, I still have some work to do with wiring. There we go. That's all working. Okay. Now let's run a test here where let's heat the bed. And I'm also going to heat the hot end. Let's make sure those actually up. Both the hot end and the bed are heating up. So as of right now, everything's good. My connections are all good, and so the firmware is totally. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Still have some more changes to make, and I'll probably post customizations. Again, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP. I appreciate your time today, and hopefully you got something out of this. If you have any questions about firmware on the SKR3, please post them in the comments and let me know. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.